Et tout le monde. It's 418 Gaming and Cold Sweps back with 30 for 30 episode 4, covering the Buffalo Sabres. Who? Oh, nice jerseys, nice jersey. I want the old school logo. No,
I want the red and black ones.
I like this one. Oh yeah, those were sick.
They have those?
Those were sick, bro.
I miss those, man. They gotta bring those back for shows.
Oh, Hundo.
For shows. What's going on, everybody?
No. Oh, fuck. I thought you selected white.
There we go.
Clicked A. All right, let's do it. So
let's go.
The Buffalo Sabres. First question, Sean.
Sucked.
First question.
Fire them off.
Better or worse than last year?
Better.
How much better on a scale of 1 to 10? That's a tough question.
I don't think... Okay, a scale of 1 to 10?
Yes.
If last year they were a 3, I would give them a 6 this year.
Ooh.
I still don't think they make the postseason, though. I still don't think they make it, but I think they're doing well in their rebuild, and I think they have some key pieces, like Eichel, Sam Reinhart, and Ristolainen on D to do better.
Do you realize
this year
that all they lost last year was like Chad Johnson, and they picked up Kyle Okposo, Dmitry Kulikov, Alex Nylander, and Anders Nielsen. I mean,
wow.
Like, if you ask me, that's a net gain of quite a bit. So that's pretty it's pretty impressive. Oh shit.
Hey, don't touch my puck.
However, it's Buffalo, man.
It is Buffalo.
I feel like every time it's a divisional rival, I'm gonna just think they're shit. Like
At least you hope they're shit.
Yeah, maybe that's more what it is. I mean,
give me that puck.
The fact that they finished in front of the Leafs was.
Fuck you, you asshole.
So.
Yes.
I think the biggest addition is Nylander in the draft. I think they drafted well. Who's their goalie?
Let me check.
They have Anders Nielsen.
Leonard.
They have Anders Nielsen that they picked up. They have.
If you ever forget, just go look at net.
They have they have a bunch of no-name goalies. Like, who the hell is Ullmark and Kasdorf? Are those guys any good?
Kasdorf sounds like something from fucking Lord of the Rings.
Nice.
Kasdorf. There's a fly on my screen, and I thought it was the puck.
You skated away.
I was like, what the heck is that down there? Ooh, baby!
So again, Buffalo to me is kind of like in Arizona. I feel like there just isn't much to say. It's more about like having to wait and see what they're capable of doing.
Okay, well, starting up front, okay. They have Eichel, who's going to lead them, okay? He had 56 points last year.
That's not
or
bad.
Something like that.
That is not bad.
No, actually, I think he had 63 or something. He was, you know what? For a year that, had McDavid going in, all eyes on him until he got injured, he would quietly went about his job.
Oh, yeah.
Eichel. And I really think there wasn't much of a step for him from college to the show. I think he made the jump really well. The only thing is, can he follow that up? Because sophomore years tend to be a little more difficult.
Well, I mean, I think he'll have a bit more help. He'll have more help.
Yeah.
Will
you put him with Okposo and Nielsen? Oh my God. It's like day and night.
Dude, I think they're gonna have a real solid. I think they have a real solid squad. It's about execution with them. Like they've had good teams in the recent past and weren't able to do anything with it. So that's why, like, to me, it's hard to put any faith in the fact that like they'll have success. And again, it's Buffalo. They're crap. Like they haven't been good for a long time.
Well, honestly, I think my favorite Buffalo moment is when Brian Campbell fucking laid out R.J. Umberger.
Yeah.
That had to be the biggest. That had to be the biggest hit I've seen in a long time.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Like it was fucking ridiculous.
It was definitely. Yeah.
That's my favorite Buffalo Sabres moment.
When is So I mean, what do you think? Give me your opinion on Evander Kane.
I think, you know what, he's still going through some allegations or whatnot for the past offseason. I think if he can put that in the back of his mind and just focus on puck, I think he can have a great year. Last year, I believe he was playing with O'Reilly and Zemgus Girgensons, who seriously underperformed last year. He had a great first year, but again, sophomore years, man, they're killer.
Yeah.
I think if they pair him with two solid players defensively and offensively, which O'Reilly is, I think he can have a great year. I just think he has to, leave out all the junk, put it aside, don't think about it, and just get back to puck. Because,
Yeah.
In Winnipeg, he was going through the whole fucking team thing with Bufflin and wearing tracksuits and shit and all that garbage. Like, it's not part of hockey. You just got to focus, show up to the game, or show up to practice, put in your best effort. You know what? Get better every day. And I don't think he was seen as a respected player for the Jets. So they traded him to Buffalo, and I think it's good for both teams.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a great player.
Every team has their bad apples, but when you're that young and you're causing that much trouble, it's hard to see. It's hard for people to start respecting you as a player when you're acting like a bratty child,
Yeah.
And I mean, so to me, Buffalo on the wing, they're solid. They have Kyle Okposo, Sam Reinhart, Matt Molson, and Brian Giunta. I mean, as a top four right wingers. That's pretty solid. Not only that, but
if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, you have Nylander coming up as well, and I don't think they're gonna be I don't think this season is going to be the one where Nylander gets a start. I think he might get a few games, but he's not going to be a part of the main roster. But once those names, like once a Brian Giunta leaves, retires,
who actually I was going to say had 35 points last year or 33 points last year,
which isn't bad, man.
Which isn't nothing.
But did he play? He played third line or third line minutes?
I don't remember. I mean, that's the thing. Watching hockey. I'll watch hockey even if the Habs aren't playing, but I wouldn't be watching a Buffalo game.
It's true.
Put it at that.
I hate
I'd watch maybe like a Dallas game or a St. Louis or one of the top teams. You don't really want to watch a fucking bottom feeder Arizona Buffalo game.
I think they showed that on TSN last year. It was like or that might have been 2 years ago. It was like the battle for last place or whatever. You remember that?
Yeah.
That showed it on TV, and it was just fucking awful hockey. Well, on the left wing, they have Evander Kane. They have Tyler Ennis, Marcus Foligno, and they do have Delorier, who's a big bod. So I think their wingers are actually, pretty good. They're pretty set on the wing. And then at center, you got O'Reilly, you got Eichel, Girgensons, and who's their fourth line? Their fourth line center is like Larson, I believe.
Okay.
So, decent down the middle. Defensively, they have some good players there as well. I think Bogosian is a big name. Ristolainen, Cody Franzen, who I don't think he had that great of a season last year compared to his year with the Leafs. With the Leafs, he was.
Well, he'd been
he was
moving
very
around
good.
since then, right? It's kind of
He went to Nashville. Yeah, he went to Nashville. And there was talk that he'd come back to the Leafs, I think. But dude, what an aggressive pinch that was.
Oh yeah. Just like in EASHL.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I think. God damn it. Which Buffalo's on a power play?
You.
I looked up and I just saw the same two names. So yeah, defensively, I think they're probably missing a few pieces still. And then obviously, definitely in nets, they're missing pieces. But on the other side, they got Dmitry Kulikov. Dmitry Kulikov is a fucking good player.
Oh yeah, man, for sure. I kind of liked him in Florida though.
Yeah,
I
did
wish,
too. But they were having they're gonna hit those cap issues in Florida, man, with all the young guys that they've picked up.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All the ones that are having a good time or are playing well, they're gonna have to pay. So
I believe after this year, Ekblad is due.
Yeah, and
he's due for another contract.
That's gonna be a big
$6 million at least.
Dude, he's like their number one. He's like their go-to guy. So anyway, so yeah, on D, they got Justin Falk as well and Georges. So, you know, I think they have
Justin Falk.
Yeah, they have Justin Falk
from Carolina.
No, Justin Falk, Falk, F-A-L-K.
Falk, okay.
Yeah,
I was like,
it's not.
Falk is nasty.
That would have been a good addition.
What the Falk?
What the Falk? So yeah, I don't know, man.
Snipe.
I don't know. I think they're still missing pieces. I think the main concern to me is goaltending. I think goaltending is very weak. So
yeah,
if they're able to fix goaltending via trade or even like a homegrown goalie, bring one up from your minors, you know. Have a goalie that can actually stay with your team for the long haul, and then you can keep juggling those veteran goalies until you have a goalie set in stone for the future.
Yeah.
In terms of prospects, like, do you have any prospects that you want to talk about?
I did, but I lost my notes, so I don't.
All right. Always well organized. Jokes.
Always.
Did you know Alex Nylander had 75 points in 57 games last year?
Really?
How sick is that?
57 games.
How, like, you're in the OHL and you're getting like more than a point a game. If I was in the OHL, I wouldn't be touching the ice. I'd be a fourth line duster.
I wouldn't be in the dressing room, guy.
I'd be warming up the bench. But yeah, I mean, prospects wise, they've been slowly kind of piling up prospects over the years. So they have Nylander. Brendan Gould. Do you know him?
Yeah. He's a up-and-coming D, I believe, right?
Yeah, he's an up-and-coming D. They actually also see him coming in next year, not this upcoming year, but the next.
Yeah, the year after.
He was like their second-round pick, I believe, 2 years ago.
Okay.
So he's a big body, and I think he'll be quite the asset to have. However, this season they have Justin Bailey, who they think
can. Right, I remember reading that.
Can be pretty good. In the AHL, he got 45 points in 75 games, or in 70 games, and he actually came up to the NHL for 8 games but didn't get a point. But I'm assuming he wasn't getting much ice time, so I mean, you can't blame a kid.
Yeah.
But they do think that he will be ready to be a pro this year, so that should be good for them. They have William Borgen, who they picked up in the 3rd round 2 years ago.
Yeah.
He's a defenseman as well. Not a big point getter, but he's a big body as well on the point, big solid D. And they actually see Rasmus Asplund as a centerman that they picked up this year early in the second round. who plays in the European leagues, one of the European leagues.
Okay.
But he won't be ready for another couple of years. So,
Okay.
all around, they tried to get Stamkos. It didn't work for them. So, they got Okposo. I think that's a good
They
sign.
didn't get Jimmy VC
No,
either.
they didn't get VC
He went
either.
signed with New York.
I think they were pretty bummed about that as well. Oh, baby.
Nice dangle by Josh Georges.
Georges.
Give it to him. No
So,
way.
yeah.
It's Ike, baby.
So that's Buffalo. So, Sean, my man.
Yes.
Where do you see them finishing
That's my name.
this year?
Okay. Well, okay. Just last year,
Yes.
okay, they finished second last in their division. Yeah, they finished with 81 points, which is 15 points back of Philly, who claimed that final wild card spot.
Right.
I seriously don't see them going to the playoffs. One thing I did note, though, they had 11 OT losses during the year. Not saying they have to turn all of those into wins, but you turn half of those into wins, and you know what? That's another fucking 5 points. It gets you, every point gets you a little bit closer, and even then, most people can tell if they're going to the playoffs or not by January.
Yep.
If they have those 5 points going into January, February, they're a little bit closer. They can taste it a little bit more. They're going to push harder.
Yeah.
That's, what though? And their goals against and goals for. They scored 201 goals for.
Yep.
And 222 against, which isn't terrible. You always want to be positive, but out of the teams that were shit,
they weren't
the shittiest. Yes.
I agree
exactly.
with that. I agree with that. So this
where
year,
where do you see them finishing though?
Well, I see them, to be honest, in the Atlantic Division. So basically the way I have it set up is I have my three teams from each division that will make the playoffs. And my wild cards, I actually have one of each making the playoffs. So I have Philly and Detroit making the playoffs. So I actually see Buffalo as right behind Detroit and Philly. I see them as a bubble team that is just going to miss the cut. So, I don't think that's the worst.
Fake.
I don't think that's the worst, the worst place to be, So.
No, of course
so
not.
I'm seeing them as a bubble team. You know what? I wouldn't be completely surprised if they squeezed into that second wildcard spot.
That final wildcard spot, yeah.
But again, it's going to depend on.
But they have to beat out. In the other division alone, they might have to beat out the Islanders, the Rangers, Philly, maybe even Pittsburgh.
Well, basically, I have Pittsburgh, Caps, Rangers, and Philly making the playoffs. So technically, according to my standings, Buffalo would just have to beat out the Islanders and maybe the Bruins if the Bruins have a good year. So
okay,
and I have we talked about Boston last episode, so we kind of know where it's at. So I don't know. I think that sums up roughly like what I think of them this year. Just a few quick off-season tidbits. They actually tried to get Goligoski, and they pushed hard for Goligoski.
Oh yeah.
So I guess in some ways they had to settle for Kulikov, but
Kulikov's still very good.
To me, I honestly think Kulikov has more potential than Goligoski anyways. That's just me.
Oh, for sure.
But he's younger, right? Is he younger? Kulikov's younger. How old is Goligoski?
I believe so.
He's an older player.
I'm going to say 35.
Yeah, and Kulikov's what, like 27? Less? How long has Kulikov been around?
I don't know. He's been in Florida a while, though.
Damn.
I know that.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it shows.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to go to Buffalo. They keep missing out on the bigger names. And
Well,
the fact that they miss out on those names doesn't help them, you know?
it's kind of the same with the Habs. No one really fucking wants to go play there. It's just, I honestly think Buffalo is becoming a very good hockey market.
I agree. I think they're.
I wouldn't quite say they're Toronto or Montreal fucking crazy, but they're
I don't
getting
think
there.
it'll ever happen though. Buffalo, Montreal,
No.
Vancouver, those are going to be. It's this, you know, Canadian hockey. It's the mecca, the three meccas. But yeah, so I didn't even remember that Bilesma was their coach.
Yeah,
Well,
Danny
I think
boy.
if they're able to sign Ristolainen to a longer deal, like I don't know if they ended up signing him to that big contract. I think that'll help. But you know what I noticed right off the bat is that you remember what we were saying about Boston? How they had a bunch of big contracts.
Yep.
Well, Buffalo, if I remember this correctly, only has like 2 contracts that are higher than five million. Is that possible? Is that possible? They have Ryan O'Reilly at 6.2, and they have Matt Molson at 6. But like Kyle Okposo, they signed him at 4.5, which is solid.
Really?
Yeah, Kulikov,
Fuck, what a steal,
4.5.
man.
They have Georges at 3.9, Gianta at 4.2, Cody Franzen at 4. The only other one is Evander Kane at 6. So they got
Wow, okay.
3 6s. But
That's a fucking steal.
that is
though,
a steal
for
on all those
Okposo and
players.
Kulikov. Oh my god.
Dude, even Franzen, like he was asking for so much, and they settled on 4, which is still a big number. But I mean, like that's a steal on all these players. Oh yes, yes, no,
No.
dude,
Okay.
come on, you gotta be
Yeah,
kidding
still
me.
okay.
You gotta
Dude,
be kidding.
I've never seen that before. I was scared. I was so fucking scared.
Oh, that was good. That was funny
One
stuff.
cool feature I just saw though, when I scored that goal in the last minute, the screen was shaking.
Oh, really? Well, you're home.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I like that.
All right. Well, here, try not to get a whistle here. Let's just okay. Never mind.
Oh,
Let's have a whistle and fucking delay this void of not saying anything. Okay, spam
just
A.
edit it out. Whatever. Spam it.
So yeah, that's gonna do it for Buffalo. Who do we got next?
Calgary.
Ooh, call Gary, because we're talking about Calgary.
And Gary. In one name. You got Cal. And then you got Gary.
All right, buddy. So
That's gonna do it for us here.
good work here. Yeah, that was. If you didn't score, we could have avoided all of that. So we'll be back with episode
Whatever.
5 of our 30 for 30. Thanks for watching. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and we will talk to you
Bye.
in the next episode.
And look at my channel too, Cold Sweps. COLD
Nah.
SWEPS.
I'm gonna edit this out.
Look it up.
I'm gonna edit this out. See you guys.